Welcome back to another video of Super Nathan Jr. We are back with another movie review. Today we will be reviewing Backrooms. I was really excited for this movie. I was excited because, well, obviously I am a nerd about the Backrooms. Not in the sense that I know everything about it. No, I don't know a whole lot about the Backrooms. But I enjoy the concept a lot. I enjoy the concept a lot, whether it be from the internet or else his show. I still haven't seen his show and I really want to watch it, but that's just gonna have to wait for the time being because I'm watching other shows right now. I think it's a really cool horror concept and does something very unique with the horror in terms of utilizing the concept of liminal spaces and I guess simultaneously being comforting and uncomfortable. So that's very fascinating as a concept, exploring abandoned sections or just areas where you think, where everything looks not just off, but you're completely alone and yet you feel like you're not. So all these things are interesting for the concept of horror. However, I was worried about this movie quite a bit, as they showed in the trailers, taking from an outside perspective of the audience member viewing a main character engaging with this, which I think would have hurt the movie as a whole, because the whole thing that makes the Backrooms special is that when we're talking about the Backrooms, it's you who is part of it. It is you who is experiencing it, so it's affecting you, it's affecting your flight or fight reactions, exploring your psychological reactions to an unknown location, an infinite unknown location where you have no idea what lingers here, nor how to get back. Just a sense of dread, essentially, like an uncomfortable dread. And the fact that you were put into this scenario is what made it so unique and powerful. And I was afraid that watching from an outside perspective, characters experience this instead of us, that would have taken away from it. I was right. This being said, I still did enjoy the movie. It did have bits and moments where it would put you as the main character. It kicks off this movie with found footage sequence of essentially, a first person, a subjective shot of a character we have no ties to. So for all intents and purposes, it's us. They have some good jump scares there with a crow, and then you could tell there's something there about to get him. It cuts the video off as it gets him, and then it kicks the movie to start. So I really like that. And then they have sequences of this too. Both they have the found footage sequence when they're trying to record the Backrooms as the gang, and then also they show subjective shots within being, whether we're the therapist, mainly just the therapist. Ultimately, it was mainly from a third person or objective shot overall, which I think really hurt it based on what the Backrooms is. And the Backrooms, ironically, narratively, it doesn't work. Because the whole point of the Backrooms is nothing makes sense. There's no way to really reason with it, and you have to get lucky, essentially, with escaping, and you're trying to survive as long as you possibly can. Everything seems the same. It doesn't seem like you're learning anything new. It just feels like you're in a constant state of inevitable doom, as I would put it. And they take this away, both by putting you in the third person perspective and watching, our characters do this. This would be fine, ironically, because the Backrooms doesn't make sense, and that's the point. The problem is you're also trying to build two main characters that are supposed to matter in a world that doesn't matter. It would have been much better to have either just found footage sequences the entire duration of the movie, have it like an extra long episode of the Backrooms show, or else have it attached to someone we have no idea who it is, and we're living with them through this. But I personally would have preferred the found footage sequences regarding this. So I think trying to put a plot where there virtually shouldn't be a plot to begin with was a really bad choice. Not to mention the character creation was pretty weak. They tried to make the therapist more deep than she actually was. They tried to hint at a backstory, some sort of horror backstory with her mother and, like, I don't know, a fudging riot or something. But ultimately that feels really pointless because it doesn't really tie into the character overall throughout the movie, outside of maybe she's dealing with her own problems and shouldn't be a therapist, and then has like a mental breakdown session when the main character, Pirate Clark, or Clark, whatever his last name is, kidnaps her in the Backrooms, currently is actively going insane. I didn't like the character creation at all. It really feels like they were trying to make them more deep than they were. They tried to make Clark deal with all this trauma of his family leaving him because he had alcohol problems, along with severe anger issues and, I guess, blaming issues. But ultimately, once again, it feels pointless. I mean, they tried to attach this emotional state as to why Pirate Clark, the entity, was created, and that's interesting, but once again, he's trying to put in more meaning than there should be, and they shouldn't have flat out described what's happening. They flat out explain that the Backrooms is just misremembering what it is in the real world, and that's why everything looks off. And that's an interesting, fascinating concept, but why? It's the Backrooms. I don't want to know why. Well, I do want to know why, but I want you to keep it from me, because it's a state of confusion. It's a state of, quite frankly, it's a state that cannot be explained. It's outside the human comprehension, and it's just a state of despair and horror where the true horror isn't just our surroundings, but it's also our mind. Like, what is ahead? Is there a monster ahead? Is there a monster following me? All formulated from our own thoughts, and that's what made the Backrooms so interesting. So to take that away by explaining it in such a way, I think wasn't very well done either. However, I've said a lot of negative things about this movie. I did actually enjoy it, because there was lots of sequences where the horror was quite well done. It makes you feel uncomfortable in a lot of parts, especially with the Pirate Clark chase sequence of the therapist by the end of the movie. It's also unclear what all happened by the end of the movie regarding like her entity and stuff, and also meeting I forgot the organization's name, was also interesting, along with the set design. The set design is definitely going to be the highlight here, ironically. Kane Parsons did a good job with his set, and it looks really well done. However, in a lot of moments, it feels like the Backrooms, and that's just beautifully well done. You could tell they put a lot of care into making it feel so scary. However, there are other sequences, I can't give you specific examples, where it will feel like you're in a box, like just a small box, and not infinite, which definitely takes away from the movie when I can tell you're on a set. But ultimately, it was well done and interesting, and I'll give him points for trying. He took a creative approach with this movie, and I'll give him that. So I will definitely want to watch the second one, which they are working on now, and I will watch the show. I like the Backrooms a lot as a concept, and the movie, it's not remarkable. It's got major flaws with it, but I did enjoy it. So I gave it 3.5 out of 5 or 6.5 out of 10. It's an alright movie. I enjoyed it. I think there's a lot to love here, but there's also a lot to hate. And I suffice it to say, I don't think character creation and character writing is Kane Parsons' forte, which makes sense since his whole media experience revolves around the Backrooms or horror as a whole, unknown horror. So it would make sense. But I have faith in him that he'll be able to keep improving it, and I'm interested to see what he does with the sequel in a couple years' time. So, what did you guys think of this movie? Please leave your thoughts down below in the comments. Please drop a like if you liked this video, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Adios!